Thank you for tuning in again to another episode with I'm Trying. I'm your host, Jonathan Gives. How are you guys doing today? It's Tuesday, May 28th. Just in case you don't know what today is, or you find this recording on a different day and you're just curious, I wonder what day they recorded that on. May 28th, 2019. If you're in the future listening to this, this is the past. The past is speaking to you, but the past is also glad that you're here. Oh man, guys, I am exhausted. I don't know how else to explain how I feel right now. This past week was a whirlwind. We just came out of Memorial Day weekend, but I didn't do any. I didn't have a barbecue. I wasn't laying out by the pool. I hope you guys were. I hope you had fun. I hope you had a good time this weekend, just chilling, relaxing, acting all cool. Maybe you shot some b-ball outside your school. I don't know. I wrapped on a web series that I wrote, a project that I'm really excited for you guys to see. Super excited about it. But I don't have anything to show you just yet. We've been putting pictures up on my Instagram, if you follow me there. So you might know, might have seen some of the behind the scenes stuff. Oh man, I'm so tired I can't even talk straight. But we'll talk more about it. It was a long experience. Like, this is probably about 8 months in the making, and then the shooting of it. Man, the crew on this project was insane. I'll have to get some of the crew on the podcast one day, so you guys can talk to them and hear from them. You can't talk to them. Maybe you can talk. I don't know. Can I set up a way for you to talk to them? I guess I'm supposed to talk to them. Maybe I'll set up a thing where you guys can ask questions, and I will be the vessel in which you talk to them. Yeah, it was a long week. I don't really know how to explain it. Mentally, obviously, from the way I'm just rambling right now, mentally, I am exhausted. Physically, oh man, I got some action scenes in there. I didn't know I was an action dude. I might have a career. I might have a future in acting. I had a couple scenes where we're emotional. I think I nailed those. I had some other scenes where I was the straight guy. I was a straight guy, and I let other people, because I got a lot of funny actor friends, and I let other people shine. And I think this is kind of like a well-rounded project that just shows other people's talents, and I was able to show some of my talents as well, which is the main reason I did it, and because I felt inspired. I wasn't just trying to show my talents. I felt some inspiration, and I had a project that I was excited about. It's called I'm Trying, which is also the name of the stand-up special I did. Also, the line of clothing that I'm putting out. That's just it, man. I'm trying to do my thing. I'm trying. That's what I'm trying. Trying to really go after it. What are you guys trying? What are you doing? Anytime someone tells me they're trying to make a difference in their community, I'm just like, wow. Forget all this industry entertainment stuff. You're trying to really be something. I don't know. Did I talk about last week with Game of Thrones and everyone was so upset? I was like, I don't care about Game of Thrones enough to get upset. Like, there's places in the world. Flint doesn't have clean water. Alabama, Georgia, they're doing weird things with telling women what they can do with their bodies. Like, sometimes we forget that this entertainment industry is not as important as we make it out to be. Especially like if you're in it and you're trying to make a career out of it. But you forget sometimes that, man, there's suffering around the world, and there's people who need help. And those people, and it's not even around the world. That could be outside your window. Living in Hollywood, living in LA, there's a lot of homeless people that I see every day when I go outside, and I don't really know how to help them. I want to help. Sometimes I'll give money. Sometimes I'll ask them if they're hungry. But sometimes charity starts at home or in your neighborhood, and that can be a thing. I think I want to I want to volunteer. I want to volunteer more. I think that's a thing that I want to try to start doing a little bit more, especially now. You know, these two big projects, my stand-up special, which I loved, and my the web series, which we wrapped on. I wanna kind of start giving back a little bit more. So I gotta look into that. If you have suggestions, if you have any thoughts, you're like, oh, if you know of some charities here in the LA area that might need help with something, let me know. Send me an email. I think we have an email now. I think it's I'm trying pod, P-O-D, at gmail.com. I'm trying pod at gmail.com. I could have wrote podcast, but I figured you guys didn't want me to waste those 4 extra characters. So yeah, shoot me an email. Tell me, give me some suggestions on maybe some volunteer things I can go do, and then I'll look into it. I'll try to do 1 or 2 of them, see if I connect with them, because I think that's the thing when you're volunteering. You should really connect with that thing you're connected to. I'm saying the word connected a lot. Did I mention I was mental? My brain is just not going to work today, and I've got a full day ahead of me. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I'm going to be on a talk show later on. So I don't know what to expect, but I think we're talking about dating. So that should be interesting, because I am not good at that. So yeah, maybe we'll see what that is like, and I'll tell you guys more about it later. And maybe I'll tell you what I learned. Maybe I'll learn some things. Who knows? What else do we have coming up? I don't have a lot of shows this month, mostly because, like I've already said several times, this past month was insanely busy, and I just haven't had a lot of time to do my normal booking, just reaching out to people and saying, hey, I'd love to do your show. If you are a booker and you are listening to this, I would love to do your show. Hit me up. Send me a quick email. Slide in my DM. I can probably fit you in, especially if you're in the Los Angeles area or surrounding areas, or if you're out of town. We'll make it work. We'll find something that will work for both of us. I would love to do your show because I've been writing some new comedy stuff after the special, and I really, really like it, and I think it's fun. So I would love to come perform for you and your audience. But I'll get back in my sort of, I guess, habits, rituals, reaching out and trying to do more shows. But there is a show June 2nd. At Acme Comedy Club. That's the home club right now for me because it's 2 minutes down the street from my house. And the Brown Sugar Show, which we're the first month of every month. We're the first month of every month. June 2nd at 8 o'clock. It's a show I produce with Carolyn Weiss. And we got a dope lineup. We got a real dope lineup for you guys this Sunday, so please come out to that. You can go get tickets at acmecomedy.com. I'm not sure if tickets are up yet or not, but keep checking that, and hopefully we'll get the tickets up soon because it's less than a week away. Sometimes we can't control everything, especially when it comes to performing at comedy clubs, but we do our best. We send a lot of emails and say, hey, get those tickets up pronto, amigo. That was me showing off my Spanish, my Espanol. 3 years, no, 2.5. I quit because my English teacher, Mrs. Wilkinson, she didn't care for me. I didn't care for her, but she definitely didn't care for me. I didn't dislike her. I just thought she wasn't nice to me. But I was a kid. What did I know? She probably was trying to push me. You know what? She was trying to push me to be a better person so that I would know more Spanish words than pronto and amigo. Because I was speaking to someone the other day. I was trying to communicate to them in Spanish, and it was not working. So, in retrospect, Ms. Wilkinson, she was like an angel that was sent from above. So I would be able to talk to this person and let them know, when I was gonna be back to my house. I had somebody come clean my house the other day before before we I don't normally have people come clean my house. I'm not bougie like that. Also, I'm not rich. So, but I did have someone come clean the house before we were filming, because we filmed some things in my house, and I was just like, ooh, I was running out of time. I was running around. I was doing a lot of things, and I was like, you know what? It is probably better for me to invest into someone else to come scrub this bathtub and clean. Have you tried to clean an oven? Man, that's the real work right there. But anyways, that's another thing for me to try. I should try to, pick up Spanish again. I got so many things I can be trying to. If you know a good way to get back into speaking Spanish, oh yeah, let me know. Hit me up. I need to know more about that as well. What else? I told you about the show coming up. I told you about a few things going on in my life. I'm sorry, guys. My brain's tired. But I have a fun interview. This is one of the interviews we did earlier in the month, earlier in May, with Katrina Davis. Katrina Davis is a very funny comedian, a friend of mine. I love it whenever we run into each other at shows. We don't see each other as much right now because she is so busy, and because she's so funny. She was one of Varieties? No, I think LA TimeOut's top 10 comics to watch, which is a good list to be on. I haven't been on a list. I'm ready to be on a list. That's the thing I want to try to do. I want to try to be on a list. Just a list, like a good list, not like don't call Jonathan because he's horrible. No, a good list of things that people have said, oh, this is a person you should be looking out for. So, I think maybe I'll just end there. I'll just end there, and you guys keep trying, and check out this interview with Katrina Davis. Prepared when you're asking people to come over your house and take a podcast in your bedroom.
No.
This is a step down from that last one you did with us.
Oh my goodness, with Ziggy?
Yeah.
That was like, did you...
I haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah, I felt like that was you just like trying something.
We were, and then, we went for a while and did it, and it was fun, but then after a while, I think we just all because Hellum came on board.
Uh-huh. And, I think I do remember you telling me that.
Yeah, we did that for a minute. But then everyone just got busy, we tried to stay consistent, and we thought about bringing...
Right, that's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah,
just getting busy.
Like everything we do.
This is so cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I've had this little setup for a while.
It looks like if Minority Report got into podcasting.
Ooh, just precogs telling people what's going to happen? Yeah, that'll be fun.
I know what you're going to say.
Uh-huh.
They can pre-censor your podcast for you.
Oh, man. That would be... there would be no reason to have a podcast then, I guess. That would be a fun idea.
I show up, it's like, oh, there's no need to do this.
Mm-hmm. We know what's going to happen. What would the name of that podcast be?
Wait, Minority Podcast? Would there be some episodes that were just blank? Like it's an episode and then it's just no episode?
Yeah, what happened? Okay, so...
Because the Minority Report, they could predict who was gonna...
Keep talking. Yeah.
What's it called?
Who's gonna commit crimes?
Commit crimes, yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
So it would be like Serial, except they're telling people who's about to commit a... Like, it would be the same thing, except it's a podcast.
Yeah.
And it'd be story form.
Yeah.
So you would be driving on vacation. Be like, oh, let me listen to... What's the name of it?
Minority Podcast?
Minority Pre-Report? I don't know. I'm trying too hard.
I was about to say, I think that's going to get lost.
Yeah.
Let's table it.
Let's do that. No, I like this idea. But I do like the idea of, like, I'm driving, listening to my favorite podcast, and they're like, and then Jonathan kills her. You're like, what?
There is...
Baby. No, they don't know what they're talking about.
I do like the idea of some, like, even if you were a psychic doing it, and just, like, if, John, what's his face, that had that Medium show, made it a podcast, and was just like, whoever's listening right now, over here in the West Coast with a green shirt, and, like, just narrow it down via podcast.
If you're, like, looking down, you're like, I'm in the
But with
Midwest.
zero feedback, and just know that you're going to get, like, one person.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
That would be... there's so many podcasts. There's probably... That podcast probably does exist. There's so many podcasts right now.
There's some psychic somewhere doing a podcast with no listeners. And she's like, there is some good information on here that no one is getting.
Whatever happened to Miss Cleo?
I think she died.
Did she?
I don't know if I'm making that up, but I feel like Miss Cleo may have died.
I wanted to do a dumb joke to be like, oh, I bet she didn't see that coming. Right? Yeah, exactly.
That
was it.
This is when the minority thing would know.
Jonathan's going to tell a stupid joke.
Exactly.
And lose half of his listeners.
Immediately.
6 minutes in. Oh, man. So, we've started, by the way.
Yeah. No, I like it.
I'm sure you can see that.
Yeah, I figured that part out.
Yeah, and I'll do like an intro up top.
Yeah.
So we can just hang out and be friends for a minute.
Sweet.
Yeah. I wanted to have you, because I remember you did the first podcast, The Blurs with Friends.
Yeah.
And that was fun. And I felt like we were just getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And then we reconnected.
Because how long had you lived here then when you started
I think I started it like a month in.
Yeah.
I was just like, hit the ground running.
Uh-huh.
Podcasts are a great way to I think, to just network and meet people.
I mean, it does just put an immediate demand out there to have guests on such a regular basis that you're forced to get to know people. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And we did at UCB, so that gave it some legitimacy.
Oh, yeah.
And then, because I remember, I forget who I had on, decently. Oh, Jeff Dye.
Oh, yeah.
He was, he's doing this thing.
Yeah.
He's on NBC. And he was like, what network is this on? I'm like, SoundCloud. SoundCloud's a network, right?
Does that count?
Yeah. But, and then, how do we've seen each other sort of in passing. You are super busy.
Yeah.
You're out
just
there.
lately, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Well, I would say more than lately.
Good year.
Yeah? You
Good
feel
year
like
so
January has been taken off for you?
Yeah. It's almost May.
No, I mean, but do you feel like that January?
Yes. I think
like
that
I'm still,
this year.
I'm still in January.
Jonathan doesn't know what month it is. I'm concerned. But yeah, it's been a really good year so far for sure.
Okay, you got the Variety. Was it Variety Top 10?
TimeOut LA.
TimeOut LA.
It's
Okay.
Variety. That seems bigger. I don't know.
Yeah,
if it
I don't know
is,
the
but
difference.
easy.
I guess Variety is national and TimeOut LA is LA.
Yeah, because TimeOut's all over, but they have their little pockets for each.
So correct. So what? So yeah, inform me. It's the TimeOut LA Top 10, or
yeah, it's TimeOut LA comics to watch, but there's 10 of us.
There's 10 of you guys.
Yeah.
And then they did a show for you guys.
Yeah, it was really fun. We did a show at Dynasty Typewriter, which is beautiful, and I really love performing there. It's also where they taped the special that I'm a part of called Everything is Fine that I did before that at the end of last year. Nice. That was my first time being at Dynasty Typewriter. So yeah, I really like it there.
Everything is Fine is the name of that special?
Yeah.
Is it out?
Yeah, it's on Seed and Spark, and it's me and 5 other female comics. Okay. It's really awesome. It's and the production from top to bottom, minus a PA, I think was all women.
Yeah.
So it was just
really cool.
And it was something that they didn't intentionally promote it that way. It was just kind of how they did the project and just wanted to see how it worked out. So that was really fun. And it's me, Riley Silverman, Heather Turman, Leah, there's a bunch of Amelia, and there's one other comic that's awesome on it. But yeah, it's all of us. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
because it's 2 Leahs, that's why. I was it's Leah, that's why. Sweet. So, yeah.
I'm forgetting someone.
Yeah, Leanna. That's what it is. It's Leanna.
Okay.
And Leanna's awesome because I legit have worked with her since then. We met on that special, but we've done other things together since then. So even that kind of was a bonding experience that we ended up kind of making real friends out of, that you see each other around. And I just did a taping for Coming to the Stage.
How did that go?
It was fun, and then it was a whole weekend. But even seeing other people posting, Leah, one of the other women that's in Everything Was Fine, I saw her post, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be out of town on your day, but I'm so excited that both of us are doing it. So yeah, it's fun to do things with people. And then
when was your taping? Was it last Sunday?
Yes.
Okay, because you were at a wedding Saturday.
Yeah. I went to one of my best friends from since 7th grade. She got married in North Carolina on Saturday.
Stayed in touch since 7th grade.
Yep. So yeah, that was nice. And then I came back for the taping. It was beautiful. Yeah? I cried a lot. It was great.
Did you go solo?
Yeah, but
okay.
just because they're like, no, I have a boyfriend. I just
you gave me the no. Like I'm a Southern belle.
I just like don't care. Well, also like that wedding, I was there to work. Like nobody was.
Were you part of the bride? You were part of the bride. Oh, okay.
So it was like no, I was not sitting down looking around at anybody's faces, even if I was.
Looking for your Owen Wilson.
Yeah, but I do have a boyfriend. But even when. Because, weddings are, like, so far in advance. Like, we had been dating them, but I was like, I'm not going to make you pay to go to this wedding for these people you don't know. Yeah, so. But it was awesome.
I think the best way to go to a wedding is to not have any connection to the wedding party.
I was about to say, I understand having a date if you're a bridesmaid, but I think it is kind of good to go by yourself if you're a bridesmaid, because you're busy.
Yeah, as a bridesmaid,
you're
for sure,
leaving your date alone for a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's no reason to invite or have a date.
Yeah, you can like kick it with unless every other bridesmaid had a date.
Yeah.
Because that was the other thing too, is our wedding posse was just like all like women, just us the whole time. And then one of my friends, her sister and her mom came, but we would kind of like let them live their lives whenever we were doing, work. Yeah. But yeah, it was just all three of us together anyway. So yeah.
So there's only three of you guys in the party?
Yeah. It was
nice, small, intimate.
Yeah, it was like us, some of their friends and their family, and I think it was like 50 people maybe. It was small.
I went to a Miami wedding as a +1. That was amazing. And then, like, I was a +1 of someone who wasn't
in South Beach or something?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was like, they had so much money.
The rich weddings are the best.
Rich weddings. Because, like, so my friend, she was invited. My friend Ashley got invited, and she didn't even really know the bride. The bride, like, invited everyone she worked with in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And my friend Ashley was like, you want to go to this wedding? And I was like, yeah. Yeah. I'll go spend other people's money.
Especially when you're going, that's, like, the best way to go to a wedding. Yeah. Because, like, I don't know any of you people. I seriously have to just, like, keep food out of my teeth and not get blackout and everything
else. Yep. Drink your. So we had our
bacon wrap dates.
Oh yeah. It was pretty. Oh, so like we went to we were on this cruise, like a yacht. They had a yacht. The dress rehearsal was on a yacht.
And they had a yacht rehearsal.
They had a yacht rehearsal, and they invited everyone. That they also invited to the actual wedding, to the rehearsal.
Which isn't the entire point of that to have like a more intimate?
Yes, that is the point.
And they were just like everything full throttle.
Yeah, it was like we need to let everyone know how rich. I think what happened was because like obviously not obviously, but the bride's parents had paid for the wedding, which was extravagant. Yeah. So the groom's parent was like, double down.
That also makes sense to be like, okay, well, I want to make sure that my part is just as
everyone
extravagant
knows
or whatever.
That, because he got up, and it was essentially like, because you're right, they're supposed to be intimate. People are supposed to be like, we were friends, toasting. I'm so happy. It was just a roast. It was just people, like, their friends getting up from college, roasting the bride and
saying
groom.
The stuff that, like, at any other wedding, a better person would, like, take the mic from them. Yeah. And it was just, like, all that dude.
It was just going after him. And everyone, I'm just going back to the buffet, like, 2 or 3 times. Because I don't care. But remember the dad got up and he said...
You're just eating lobster being like, these people have no etiquette.
Yes. I think we had lobster at the wedding. There was steak. Nice. There was steak at the rehearsal.
Surf and turf.
Yeah. But the dad got up and the dad said the reason he decided to do the rehearsal on a yacht was because the day that his son told him that he got engaged, that he was also watching HBO Ballers, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson had also had a party on a yacht. He was like, oh, I want to do that.
So he, like, clinked a glass and then said that? Like,
he was like, oh, congratulations, son, but I'm watching TV.
What? But wow. That's very indicative of where the, like, as far as, like, was that supposed to be his moment to, like, say something meaningful? Or was it just,
it was.
Like, oh, my gosh.
It was. Yeah, it was not
and he was like,
appropriate. I'm trying to think, what else happened there?
When my son said he found the one...
I was watching.
And I was half listening, watching The Rock. And I was like, I have as much money as The Rock. Yeah. And that's when I decided to celebrate my son on this yacht.
We invited The Rock. He declined.
Congratulations, son, I guess. I don't know. I think this is more about The Rock now.
Yeah, finally, for me, a reason to stick it to The Rock.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
He just wishes The Rock was his son. It's fine.
I don't think I'll ever do a yacht party like that again, though. Because the only other thing was that me and my friend Ashley were the only we were the only people of color. We were definitely the only black people there who weren't wait staff. And that's awkward. Because you could see, like, the top deck was packed of people. And you could see...
Oh, yeah, because, like, how many people? Like, a lot
There was a lot of people. It was probably... I mean, I forget. I don't exaggerate. But it was, like, over 100 people on the shot, for sure.
Yeah.
And they made everyone go to the top deck when we first took off from the dock because they were still setting up the food and whatnot. So everyone was just sort of like a sea of people. Oh, look,
this is where everyone is, yeah.
Yeah, and you could see, like, old, rich white people looking for another drink and, like, contact eyes with you and start the beeline, and as they get halfway there, they're like, oh.
That is so... I feel like every person that did that to you should have automatically brought you a drink, like, but with no explanation. Yeah. Just been like, hello, nice to meet you. Introduce themselves with a drink and just walked away.
I was going up to, like, when the wait staff were going around, and if it was, like, a black person, I was like, you don't have to bring me a drink. I'll go get my, like...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'll go get my own.
But also... Now you have to work because you're the only minority. Like, you have so much guilt that now you don't get to be a guest.
Exactly. Like, I'm working to make everyone else feel comfortable.
But then they really can ask you for a drink. Why would you do that?
It's too much. Now that I think about it, maybe this wedding...
You're blurring the lines further. I'm trying...
All right, you're right.
I feel like I mean, I was going to say as soon as you said that before you said the part about them assuming you were also waitstaff, it's like, I've definitely been the only black person in a space before. But I think I'm not more used to it, but it's not like...
I'm super used
to it.
Like,
there was a... Yes, like, like... It's like, oh, okay. This is...
Oh, yeah. I don't make it... So, like...
But you will, like, you can't not notice it. Like, you're going to be like, huh, look at that.
I'm actually more aware when I'm in more diverse settings.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. I'm kind of like, they're like, oh, hello, everyone.
Yeah, they're like, oh, some of you look like me.
I like this. This is nice.
Yeah. What was the other one? My friend Jesse got married. I showed up to the rehearsal. I was in the wedding party. Showed up a little bit late. They were just getting started. And the musician was bringing his keyboard and whatnot in. So I was helping him carry his stuff in. And the wedding planner, this is in Georgia in the hills, the wedding planner, like, after I set the stuff down, I kind of just, was waiting for them to tell me where to go. And she was like, excuse me, sir, you're in the way. Like, you just put those down, and then my friend Jesse's like, he's in the wedding party. And she was like, oh. Like, she was, like, definitely treating me like the help. Yeah. But she didn't know. Yeah. So, I mean...
Stop helping at weddings, Jonathan.
All right, you're right. It is on me.
It's not all on you.
Okay.
But you're too helpful for racism. It's just unnatural.
Yeah, I'm not helping our cause as a black people at all.
Just by being, you're so cordial. Yeah. You're unintentionally.
People are still like, he is one of the good ones. You should be allowed to be
nice, though. You should be allowed to be nice, though. But also, like, yeah. Or just, like, look at someone and be like, oh, no, I was just trying to be nice for a second.
Yeah. Well, you're from the South. You get it.
Yeah.
What's Jacksonville like?
It's changing a lot even now. Okay. But when I was younger, there were way less black people. Like, my mom jokes about when we went to the mall where we first moved, and my parents are from Baltimore, so where we're from is, predominantly black, I would say. And
I mean, if everything on the wire is true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is, unfortunately. So... she said at one point she leaned over to my dad in the mall and was just like, where are all the black people? Like, she was like, I legit felt odd. Yeah. Like, I was just like, this is different. Yeah. So I think they definitely had to adjust, but I was pretty much used to it. And then the older I got, it changed. And it's always also not been all just black and white either, because we have like one of the largest Filipino populations in like Florida or the Southeast or something like that. So a lot of my friends growing up were Filipino, and like, so there were other cultures around other than just being like stark black and white. And then when I got to high school, there was a large influx of like island people came to Jacksonville, like specifically.
Which island?
Like a bunch of different ones. No, like a bunch of Haitian people came, but like people from different islands all of a sudden were at high school. And I was just like, okay, this is cool. But like people started thinking I was Haitian. Like people would come up to me and try to like speak. Because one girl, and I don't think she was Haitian, but she came up to me and started speaking something. And I was like, what? And she goes, what island? What island? And I was like, no island. And she just like rolled her eyes at me and kept walking. But yeah, so I watched even Jacksonville and Orange Park, where I'm actually from, which is like the smaller suburb, grow and kind of become, more diverse and stuff. But when I was younger, there were far less black people, and then it's probably, a little bit more now. Probably a lot more now, yeah.
When did you move out to LA?
3 years ago, almost 4. I think this will be my 4th year here, yeah.
Congratulations on 4 years.
Yeah,
Not everyone makes it that long.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, that's funny, because even the first year I was here, one of my friends back home was like, oh yeah, I feel like you didn't come back now, so... like, people were like waiting.
They had a pool going.
Yeah, people definitely, I think, sometimes think you're not gonna... But I came out here I moved because there weren't enough jobs in Jacksonville.
Got it.
In copywriting that paid enough for me to eat. So I had to move. So I was looking in LA, New York, and Atlanta. So I was going to move to one of those places. I had no choice.
New York and Atlanta... I
wanted to move to Atlanta even when I first graduated college. I just couldn't find a job there. So.
Where'd you go to school?
Florida. UF, yeah.
Yeah, man. Did I not know
Go
this?
Gators. I think you did, and you just forgot, maybe.
I have forgotten.
Yeah. Because I feel like we've talked about it because you guys bark, and it's upsetting.
Yeah, you guys do this.
I know. Everyone talks about the chomp like, oh my gosh, it's so annoying. It's like, you've never had a boy with 2 tight khakis on and a side swoop bark in your ear.
Boat shoes.
Unsolicited. It's not cute. I will give it to you. Like, the gator chomp is not, the least obnoxious thing.
It is, well, if we're talking the most obnoxious.
Ooh, I think I know what you're going to say.
We'll count on the count of 3.
What?
1,
2,
say,
3.
Tigers.
Oh, I was going to say Florida State.
Oh, no. Yeah, maybe.
But that was only chant-wise. Like, just
with
the
Native
noise.
American,
yes,
the chomp.
That is, like, the worst.
Yeah.
But wait, because why are they the worst? Why are Tigers the worst? Because Auburn?
They're mean.
Are Auburn people
Louisville.
mean?
Oh, sorry, not Auburn. Yeah, not Louisville. LSU.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we played them a lot. Yeah.
I went to a game, and I remember, I think we lost that game. And they were throwing half-eaten chicken wings at us as we were leaving, telling us to get out of town.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. And then I was with my white friend. So I was like, this isn't even a race thing.
They're just
They're just
horrible.
Bad people. Yeah. And I have a friend, she's from Bama, and she's been on my Instagram feed, because spring ball is coming up, and she's been talking trash. And I'm like, don't be that fan.
I don't have a TV, so my mom texts me the score of Gator games once the season
Is that intentional?
starts. No, it's just that I never got one, and now I don't have room for one, really, and my dad suggested that I get one that you, like, put up in the corner, and I was like, I don't live in a barbershop, Dad. I'm not doing that. But there's, like, no real room for me to have a TV. And I've just gotten used now. Because I watch, obviously, when I'm home, I'll watch, like, TV, Hulu or Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, and I was
Because I like watching weird documentaries that are, like, messed up on YouTube anyway, so.
They're not TV material. They're laptops.
Or if they are, I'll, like, look there first, but normally, nah.
Yeah, we have cable, but... most of everything I watch, I stream.
Dude, anytime I'm around a TV, I feel like I do like not having one for when I'm around one. Like if I'm in a hotel room or something. It's like, ooh, TV. Mm-hmm. It's so new. Like all commercials are not annoying because I haven't seen any, if they aren't the ones on Hulu.
What are you watching? What are you loving to watch in a hotel?
I watched an entire, like from start to finish, I think almost, Love and Hip Hop, like 3 or 4 seasons of Love and Hip Hop once, where I was like, I need to go to bed. It is 3:00 in the morning. I cannot stop watching Love and Hip Hop. What's another thing? Oh, I love Iyanla Fix My Life. It's like my favorite thing in the world.
Oh, is that the?
Oh,
wait a minute,
it's
is that
so
the one where
good.
she's like organizing people's? Is that?
Not stuff. No, Iyanla is
an
amazing Black woman that has been to hell and back in her own personal life, and that she uses that to help people through their own journeys, and she does not mess around, and it is my favorite thing.
The great part of this, to interrupt you, is that when you started talking about her, your eyes kind of like rolled up into your head.
I went to a different place.
You did go to a different place.
I love her so much, because she will say the best. She's so no nonsense that I think she forgets that she's saying legitimately upsetting things.
Yeah.
Like, she gets so lost in the fact that someone needs to hear something. And I think she also sometimes is reacting to how ridiculous our minds can be when we're trying to convince ourselves of something otherwise. Like, even if your friend says they're trying to not do something and you see them do the exact opposite and you just laugh at them like, what are you doing? But she'll do that with huge life things.
Yeah.
So people are like, I don't understand why my wife's so mad at me. And she'll just go, 'cause you're cheating! Ha! And like laugh in their face. And it's so she's the best ever.
Is she like a psychologist? Or what is she?
I don't know if she has a PhD in anything or just multiple things, but she's like a life coach and she is 100% for real, but she just, I think, gets overwhelmed in the ridiculousness of how we create coping mechanisms, and she just sees so much through all of it that
I need more people like that in my life.
Oh my gosh, she's so real. But I wait for people get mad at her sometimes because she just does not like.
She doesn't have a filter.
Sometimes, but it's sometimes the way people need to hear.
She needs
something.
like a dimmer switch
it's
to her.
So great though, but sometimes she doesn't, because it's people that have been coddled their whole lives, and it's like, yes, please just scream at someone.
Yeah, sometimes you need someone.
I'm a big advocate for just
saying that I'm so passive in my life.
I'm the mean friend.
Are you?
Like, see, I just,
even
at the beginning, because
more?
I screamed at you for cleaning up. Like, I'm that person.
Well, I mean,
I'm
if you
sorry.
could see my room, this is...
You clean up everywhere white people see you, and you won't clean up in the privacy of your own room.
So true.
Be cordial for yourself, Jonathan.
I know. I do need to take care of myself more. I'm so worried about other people. I don't... Yeah.
Your room is a manifestation of that.
Oh my gosh.
I'm the new Iyanla.
I'm
joking.
I'm okay with it.
It's so silly.
This is like, you're speaking truth in my life right now. I used to be better. I don't know. Something happened where I was just sort of like, oh, it doesn't matter. This can go there.
Yeah.
And then... Well,
I'm the opposite, where I'm so manic. I have to have everything in a certain way before I can, like, leave to come do this podcast. So I'm probably speaking from the opposite end of not such a great part of the spectrum.
Well, I mean, so do you have any sort of, like, ADD tendencies, or
I've never
light switches and stuff?
Whenever people ask, I definitely like have rituals and stuff like that with OCD, but I also do not know if I've been. I didn't know if you meant both, because they have been like.
I'm also dumb.
No,
can we can we also
really
just go ahead and put that
here,
out there,
which is fine.
Yeah.
But no, I do have like certain things that I do, like lock doors certain amount of times and stuff like that for sure. Yeah. But I try to like keep it at a. I was actually talking to one of my friends about it that is diagnosed OCD and like goes to a therapist about it, and I was like basically bouncing my rituals off her to be like, is this for real? And she was kind of like, yeah, I mean, if you feel like they interfere with your daily life enough to, you know.
Yeah.
Like, if you're late for work because you're counting, then, yeah, maybe you should, like, go talk to somebody about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I guess that's with anything. Like, people who say they, like, suffer from depression or whatever. The thing is, like...
Once it starts getting in the way of other things that you know you'd rather be doing or something like that. Yeah. And I think that mine sometimes does, but I think it's just borderline enough where... I can at least tell myself that it's like, oh no, I just like run myself ragged getting everything to a certain point, and then I just feel great when I'm out. Yeah. Like, I have like one more in my head right now. I know exactly what I need to do in my apartment before I go, and then I can like go hang out in Santa Monica and go for a walk before sunset. But I like have done enough of it where I feel okay.
But if you don't,
that's probably manic. Like, that's not.
Yeah.
That's probably not a good.
Maybe. Well, so because here's the thing. Here's the question I have. So like, if you don't do those things before you head to Santa Monica,
I just won't go.
Oh, you won't go.
Or I'll just be I'll be like, and that's another thing, even about living with whatever kind of things you have, is being like, okay, well, as time passes, either I'll have enough time to do it or I won't, and that's okay. And I still got to do this other part, and that's okay. And just finding other ways to adjust from, because that is something that used to be a big problem, is like the second something doesn't go the way I planned, or like the second something on my list doesn't get done, like now I'm freaking out. But,
so either you choose not to go do the thing that you want to do for your own
like
enjoyment.
Prioritize as far as like, even if it's something that I wanted, it's not even always that. If it's something that's like, I can do that next weekend, it's fine. I'm crossing it off, it's dead to me. It's fine. But if it's something that's like, no, you need to do this for the rest of the week to be okay and like go smoothly, then, you know, like if it's like, no, you need to sit down and finish rewriting this because you have a show on, you know, whatever day when you won't have any other time to do it, then I'll stay and do it because I'm going to feel better because I did what I needed to do rather than, well, the extra fun, whatever. But yeah, I feel like I'm constantly prioritizing things that way.
I mean, I feel like I have a hard time because, like, I have a hard time like focusing on one thing at a time.
Yes.
And I want to do like 3 or 4. Yes. Like that's how I'm fulfilled.
I'm always doing multiple things.
Yeah. Well, I told you I had, and it wasn't even this podcast. I reached out to you. I was like, oh, I have an idea for a podcast. Mm-hmm. I think Katrina would be really good for it. Because she would yell at me and bring truth into my life. But
did you see that coming? Did you see me yelling at you coming?
No, not really. I do think...
You seem like someone that would yell at me a little.
I do think... man, how do I say this? I think you probably have a more... you have a better perspective on the world than I do.
You think?
I think so.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen your stand-up. We've hung out a little bit.
Oh, you just mean like observationally or something?
Observationally. Okay, so the idea was, I may not, I don't know, who cares? I'm going to say, I had an idea for a podcast. Actually, I was going to tape it, video, like, I guess what I'm doing now.
Okay, yeah, similar format, different idea.
Different idea. Called Cancel Culture. Because it's, so yesterday I probably offended someone because we were talking about Rami Youssef. His new show on Hulu. And this person was saying that she didn't like him. Mm-hmm. Or she didn't say that. She said she wasn't sure yet about his show.
Oh, okay.
And I said...
But also, how much... There's one episode, right?
I think it's all there.
Oh, okay, cool. I see what you're saying.
Getting to the point of, like, this podcast. Okay, so I said, oh, he does stand-up. You should check out his stand-up. And one of his bits, she didn't care for. He was talking about Hillary.
Oh, okay.
And I said, oh, it triggered you. Mm-hmm. And she said, we were texting, and she said K. The letter K.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I've said a word that you don't like. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like the premise of the podcast, that people get triggered and just write people off immediately.
Because did you ask any kind of follow-up question to that?
I felt like I didn't get a chance to.
Like, did you maybe say, like, oh, did I offend you or anything?
I wrote back later on and I said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. And there was no response.
What?
I even gave, like, the puppy dog face. Like, with the eyes and everything.
You do not need to necessarily even come with a proverbial, like, emoji tail between your legs.
Yeah.
For your first time and I feel like that's something, even as the person that's getting offended, that I know can be hard, but as far as making something a teaching moment, and it's not even that kind of, it's not a teaching moment if it's your friend. If your friend says something that upsets you, you should be able to tell your friend that that's upsetting to you without it being a thing, because that should be a part of how you honestly carry on relationships in your life that matter to you. You shouldn't have to immediately cut someone off the second they use a verb you don't like.
I agree with you.
Even just to say, I didn't like that, because, like, if you're so offended that you can't text me back, then you should be able to possibly even give me something to go forward and know why.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that it's not necessarily that person's responsibility to let anybody know, but that seems pretty minor to the point where you could be like, okay, but you can explain to me why I was trying to just... Because even you saying that, I see how someone that's
Sure.
super on one could be like, don't tell me how. I feel like you were defining how she felt for her. But I feel like if I had a friend that did that, because I do that to people when you're trying to understand them, because you're saying something to me, so you're like, oh, did that trigger you? And you can either say yes, or you can say, oh, no, not really. I just really don't like whatever. And then I can decide whether or not you just define triggered or not, because it sounds like you... It's so funny to me that you would, as a person that would react that way, because you were clearly triggered.
Yes, but also I have to...
Because now I feel like you were just having a difference in opinion of what a word means. If you did not like that I used that word, please tell me.
Yeah, so I know
what that did to you. That wasn't you being triggered.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
But you're acting pretty triggered right now.
Yeah, exactly. You texted me K, the letter K. That's a sign.
Which honestly, you're already nice, because I don't give a shit about any enough of my friends for them to like sassily text me a K and me ask, and I do one follow up and you don't answer me. Like, we're not fucking. I don't care. Yeah. Like, you don't get to be that huffy with your friends on one word.
Well, I'm the person that wants to make everyone feel comfortable.
Right.
So that's...
And sometimes certain personalities pick up on that and feed off of that kind of energy, where you get to be chased like that and always have someone be like, oh my God, what's wrong? I'm so sorry.
See, that's what the idea I wanted us to do together.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But you're too busy.
I know. Because we would get to do it now. We could do it you want to do it like once every other month?
like whenever I ask you to come on as a guest.
Okay.
We're like, we're not doing the I'm Trying podcast.
Yes.
We're going to do cancel culture.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
With Katrina.
Yeah. So that was just the first mini episode, you guys.
Yeah, there'll be, I don't know, maybe 3 more in the scope of the next 5 years.
Before Jonathan changes his mind to another one.
Oh, don't do that
It'll
to
be fine.
me. I probably will. I probably will. I texted, I should...
You should just call it like the Giles topic, and then you can just do a bunch of random ass things under the same podcast.
Can I just call it the Minority Report?
No, because there's already 5 of those.
Are those?
Yeah.
Are there?
I think so.
All right. Okay. I wanted to talk to you about, segue,
yeah.
I wanted to talk, have you seen Beyonce? Have you seen Homecoming yet?
I haven't seen Homecoming, but I went to Coachella last year.
Oh, you were there.
So I've seen part of Homecoming in real life.
In real life. Why only part? Is it too long? You had to leave, or?
No. I mean, I haven't seen the documentary.
Okay, gotcha.
But I went to Coachella, so I know there's more. Yeah. Like I haven't seen Homecoming. Like I know there's a lot more in there.
Oh, so good.
I heard.
It is great. It is great. I swear. Okay, so like when you came in, I was listening to it.
I was just about to say. I was just about to say, you guys, when I came in, Jonathan was blasting Beyonce at a breakup volume. Like
breakup volume.
Such a fun volume for there to not be a mimosa in his room. It was fantastic.
It is true. I've been vibing out. Okay, so I watched the 2 days ago. Wasn't able to finish it because I got too emotional.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry. Okay, so there's a part where this is gonna sound like a bit. This is not a bit.
I believe it.
I was when they started singing "Who Runs the World."
Yeah.
I was watching and I said, "We do" out loud. I think
and you're like, I need to pause this.
I think I came out.
And I splashed some water on my face.
I was like,
I collected myself.
I was like, what just happened?
I will say that even in person, because I try to always.
I couldn't go watch her in person.
That's the thing is, I try to be really not even try to be, but I come off very pragmatic about things like that. Sometimes, like I will sometimes not get as excited about celebrity and stuff like that. Where it's like, even when the second you see someone walking on the same sidewalk as you, you're like, they're right here. Like even if that's the thing that just makes them regular, there's something that like I don't compute that same kind of like starstruckness for everyone.
Yeah.
Like it definitely happens to me, but not, And so I was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and this is gonna be a great show. Like I'm excited to see the show, obviously, but I have a joke about how the people around me were freaking out. Like they were like white women more excited to see Beyonce than I was, that were just like basically breathing into brown paper bags, and I was just
they were like hyperventilating.
Relax, like right. And but once she started, there were did not even realize listening to them back to back, how long I've listened to her and Destiny's Child and everything. Like, how many songs were such a part of like,
your life.
And so even being like, oh, okay, whatever, this is going to be fun. And then halfway through being like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's like your whole life flashes before you.
Exponentially losing it more and more every song. And I was also there for work, so I went by myself, basically. So I was by myself in the sea of a million people. And she's like yelling like, this is for my queens. And I was just like, yes! Like, I just like felt so immediately connected to even my other friends that I knew were there in other places. And like that we were all there together. And then certain songs, like even certain mixes and versions of songs that she does in that performance, and the songs that she uses in them are so good. Yes,
like a bunch of other rap, but it was like the band was doing it. It wasn't like a DJ. The band was
and that whole, even it having that whole like HBC like theme behind everything. So it was.
I feel like I made
a lot of like more power from it than I thought I would.
I would be the guy. So there's definitely like there's men who are fans of Beyonce.
Yeah.
Whether their sexual orientation, but there's like you watch the documentary, you'll see, and you probably saw them in person. Like they were singing every word, and they're like.
And I didn't see those people because those people sat in all the front.
Yeah.
From like. Not in like all day where they were like, we don't care about Chromeo and we are going to sit here through this entire set because Beyonce will be on this stage in 10 hours.
Adult diapers.
Yes,
this is all we're doing.
Came to play. So those people were like miles in front of me. But I have seen videos. I remember even not even Coachella, like when she was on tour and people were seeing her multiple times, obviously. And there was one video I saw online, and it was her on stage, and then the person switched over to the people next to him, and it was this line of 4 black men doing her choreography with her. For the show that is happening right now. So it's like, where are you even like
there's like, is this an audition?
Yes, and they were on point with her. So it was like she had background and front round. Everyone, it was so great just seeing how much.
My favorite thing, so then I would be this guy, because I think I'm probably like you to that degree of like, oh, it's a celebrity, not a big deal.
Yeah.
But I would be there, and I would be the guy who's like, looks like he's fighting every urge in him. Like,
to just join those two?
To just have fun.
Yes!
And like, I'd be like, no.
That's the thing, and especially at Coachella, that's the best place to even not care, because it's like, at one point I did come early enough to like try to get a decent spot, so I kind of like huddled down and slept on my backpack for like an hour or so while I was waiting.
Then you're like, this
like
is dumb.
popped back up and there were people everywhere around me.
That's kind of scary.
But at one point these kids behind me, I could hear them all coordinating what pill they were gonna take next.
Oh yeah.
And so like everyone's like, take the pink one, like Tim, like they were like,
what was it?
I don't know, because I was like still asleep. Like this was as I was waking up. Because also it was like you're in the sun. Even I didn't drink too much. I drank like a little bit, but like even just being in the sun all day, you're like you're kind of like run down, and like I was kind of booting around for Beyonce. Sure. So I can hear them like telephoning through each other, like take this one, okay, like everyone ready? Are you good? And the girl and the girl that was closest to me goes, oh my gosh, honey, are you okay? Like, what did you take? And I was just like,
that's not good.
Oh no, I'm just 30 and napping. Like, I'm fine. I'm not on any hard drugs at all. Actually,
on life
it was
right
so
now.
funny. Yeah,
life is the drug that I've been taking. They were adorable.
They were really looking out for each other, though.
I feel like sometimes I need to take something to help me.
Well, my whole point in saying that was is everyone else's, even if you're not. So it's like,
why not?
You can freaking twirl around, and I feel like even if you felt that when you first got there, Coachella is such a visual experience in terms of, yes, there are tons of girls just blogging there, like that.
Yeah, dressed up like Native Americans.
Or even just like the usual fantasy level like festival wear.
I get it,
But then there's also people that are, every once in a while you see one that's like, okay, you are on some total. You're like, there are people that like are
you've leveled up.
They're so different, right? So it's like, okay, but you're gonna be weird dancing to Beyonce in like a Guns and Butter shirt. Like, no way. There are people here like way crazier tips. So it kind of like alleviates.
Was that your first Coachella?
Yes. I've never been. I have no, because I went because my job. There's no way I would have money to go to Coachella.
Coachella is expensive.
It's so expensive. Give me like $1,500 and see if I do something with it more than
you're doing
Coachella.
okay. Okay, so let's say this. You're doing okay in life. You got a TV in your apartment. Or your apartment, I don't even know where you live. I know you live near me.
I live super near you.
But I don't know, like, okay, but your space is big enough for a TV. Because that's why you said you don't have a TV, right?
No. I said, I don't have space. Like, it's...
You don't have space for a TV.
Yeah,
it's not that you don't make good money.
It's almost the size of your room. Yes.
Oh, man, Anyways,
okay. Yeah, it's like a little bit farther out, but it's like a room. Yeah.
So, okay, this is the point. I'm getting off.
Sorry.
No, I got myself off track. Trying to be funny. No, okay. You're doing well in life. You could go to Coachella. You could buy that ticket and not think twice about it. Would you? Are you a festival person?
In a scenario?
Yeah.
Ooh, I feel like I'm a... here's the thing. I've done other festivals also that I really liked, but I feel like it depends. Okay. I feel like sometimes I will full on rough it, but I also... hold on. I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say right now.
Put you on the spot.
No, it's just that, like, because there's part of me that loves camping and, like, hanging out in nature and doing all of that stuff. But I don't like to rage and then, like, not have running water. Yeah. So when you are at festivals and people are trying to, like, party, and it's not even that you could do that for, like, a night or whatever. If we're here for, like, 4 days and people are just, like, not brushing their teeth, and, like, and I understand that's what you're doing, but, like, I feel like I kind of lame out faster than other people probably would. So there's elements to festivals that I really like. Okay. And then there's other that I feel like I would probably do, like, a glamping version of a festival.
Sure. I'm not a festival person. I think, and I've never, so like Chicago, they had Lollapalooza, and I would see the madness, and there was nothing in me that wanted to participate.
Well, see, like, we had Warped Tour, and I went to Warped Tour, but Warped Tour to me is like, but that's also even if you go all day, you can go all day and you go home at night or whatever, or it's that's close like Music enough Midtown to where you're prepping rides. So that even to me is like, so it's like you still get to boot and rally somewhere even if you come back the next day and you're doing the whole tour, and that's the thing. I guess that's the difference.
I'm okay with concerts.
I'll do large form concerts.
Yeah, I like concerts. I think that's it. Because I think I like to leave. That's my favorite part of doing things.
Most things. You're so right. Because even... And it's so funny. Because at Beyonce, she started singing... What's the last song? Is like... Best I've Ever Had or something like that. It's like one... It's a ballad where I was like, oh, this is some closeout shit.
Time to bounce.
And I started leaving.
I'm always looking for the...
so happy.
Yeah.
Dude,
how long was it?
The Uber line got to be like 3 hours long. Like it was, and they had a system. Like they had this assembly line of things, and it was insane. And there were
because that was the Uber ride. So I don't know anything about Coachella at all. So the Ubers took you where?
The Ubers drop you off, and then you have to walk like another 1.5 miles, and there's like. It's broken up into these things where you'll think you're there and you're still not there. So the Uber will drop you off. You're at the checkout point. You're like, you're not even, you can see where you need to walk to get to the checkout point. They can't really drop you off at any kind of like, thanks guys. You have to walk. So you're walking to where you go through security and everything and get your wristband and whatever. And then you're walking and then you get to where those like bikes are. The pedicabs. Yep. So you can pay for a pedicab that's like $10. And be like, okay, well, I did that. And then, but you'll walk a little bit more, and then there's another gap where you can also pay for a pedicab. Got it. So you can, once you've been, you'll be like, oh no, I'll walk this one and then pay for the pedicab back when I'm tired and don't care. So there's different steps to getting into where you'll be like, oh, here we are. And you're like, no, you're not. Not there yet. So it takes a while to get into the actual fairgrounds. Okay. But then once you're there, everything is like huge and massive and right there.
But they're taking you back to Tent Village or I'm assuming like because people are camping
those
or
are
hotels
huge too. No, like
where do people stay is what I'm
I stayed in a hotel that
so there's hotels.
Yeah, and everything gets booked up and jacked up and everything's crazy, but they do have campgrounds also.
Got it. I'm ignorant
that
to the
people
whole
bring
thing.
all sorts of kind of amenities to, depending on what level of prep. Because that's the thing, even about people that love festivals, like like Alex Hooper, comic, awesome dude. He loves festivals. Him and all his friends love festivals. They're like a group of people that have decided that this is what they do. So they pooled to like have a travel setup that they can all use
whenever they want to go out.
Yes, so they can always fest at like peak awesomeness.
Yeah.
Because they just invested in being able to do
That's
that.
smart.
Yeah, it's like an RV or something. Like it's not an RV, but it's something like that kind of thing.
Do they use it only for fest, or do they go out and do comedy with it as well?
I don't know if they're other. No, I think it's like people that like music. I don't think they're comics. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
I'm always
so you can like find
do comedy.
No, but I feel like you can find like people and find different ways to do. Because like even I like camping, but I'll rent out a camp. Like I'll go canoeing and then have like, even if it's a cabin that isn't sealed, like I don't care, but it's still got some kind of. I'll sleep on the ground, but I also won't.
Yeah, if I have a choice, is there a bed? I'll sleep in the bed.
Is the bed full of hay? I'll still do that.
Yeah. The last
I've
time
been to Girl Scout camp.
Last time I was at I was camping in a cabin. I slept in the attic, but it was a nice attic.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the couch or the floor.
Yeah.
Actually, I was talking to someone yesterday about doing a cabin trip.
I like cabins. I haven't gone yet, but I do want to go to Big Bear.
We should talk.
Let's go to Big Bear. You want to do the podcast in Big Bear? We
could do we could do Cancel Culture Part 2 in Big Bear. I think in June.
Cancel culture? That's hard to say.
Camping. It is hard to say.
Cancel culture, camping edition.
Oh man, that feels like.
I'm just giving
that feels like an idea we could sell to ABC.
I'm just giving you vocal.
Yeah, I know, right?
Really. That does sound like some kind of like if you didn't know what Big Brother was in another country, you'd be like, oh, is that English Big Brother?
Is that Survivor? Survivor with comedians? I think in June we can talk if you're interested. I think we're gonna try to get a group of people to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, what's something you're trying to do these days? When podcasts start, the whole format is like, let's just figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, the podcast is called I'm Trying.
Oh, right. I knew there was a thing that I was like, there was, like, as I was driving over here, I was like, there was a thing that Jonathan told me to think about, and I did not think about that.
And if you don't have it, that's fine, because we've hit on it a little bit, some stuff, but do you have something right now you're, like, very specific?
Dude, yes, I have, like, a full-on comedy list of things that I'm trying. I'm trying to work on overall, I feel like this is even a dumb thing to say, but it's like where everything starts is just overall improvement and consistency in my stand-up. Like every set I just want to be better. I want to get stronger, have more, I don't know, like I know you're gonna bomb, we all bomb, it's gonna happen, but just like even consistency in how I feel about my performances and stuff like that. So that's a big thing right now, and I'm working on trying to do 30 minutes.
Let me ask you this. So you were talking about like bombing and knowing you're going to bomb and feeling consistent about it. How do you feel or even get past this feeling? And I'll set it up and then I want to hear your answer. So Friday I did Sauce.
Yes.
And then I did Cityscape.
Okay, what's that?
That's a dope ass show.
Okay, cool.
I'll have to share your information with. It's like this outdoor show, and there's a fire pit. I love
outdoor shows.
There's a barbecue and a DJ, and I was
awesome.
like, "What in the white hell is this?" But it wasn't like all white. It was like a nice, diverse group of people. Anyways, so I did Sauce, and Sauce was fine, right? Mm-hmm. You do those shows where you're like, "It's okay."
Right, like you felt, I can go to sleep tonight. I wanted to do better. It was fine.
It was fine.
Got it.
They're listening.
Yes.
No one's not happy with what you're doing, but they're not like, this is great. Mm-hmm. And then I went to that second show and I had that, this is great moment.
Right.
How do you how do you deal with those feelings of that first one where you're like, it was fine, it should have went better?
Yeah. I feel like, one, I record.
Okay.
Every chance I get in my pocket. So I can sometimes listen back and not know for a fact, because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could have just not like you that much. But sometimes I will listen back and say, this didn't work right. Yeah. One, your perception can be off where you listen back and you're like, that didn't even do, especially specific ones. You're like, that didn't even do as bad as I thought it did, or whatever. Or like, sometimes I'll listen back to stuff where I know in my head it bombed, but I'll listen back to the recording and be like, oh, I fucking missed the main part of that shit. Yeah. You shouldn't have laughed at that. I fucked it up, and I didn't realize I did. You know what I mean?
Are you the type of person that you're like, I listen to every recording, every time I go up I record, I have to listen to it, and I have to like fix or tweak something?
Nah. Okay. I do it for myself. I think it helps me with remembering jokes. It helps me write new tags. It helps me react to, like, if I listen to a recording and an audience reacts really strongly to a certain point, not on purpose, but I will maybe think of another, like, it helps me develop my jokes a little bit better, or cut stuff out, or add stuff, or think of. So it legit helps me personally to listen to them, like, especially the shitty ones, and I hate doing it, but I will, like, force myself to listen to it. Even if it takes me, like, a day, I'll do it, like, once. And then really good ones, I'll listen to, like, a couple times and then be like, okay, cool, like, glad that went that well. But even those, I'm trying to figure out if it's because they were just in a great mood and they already loved me. They laughed at all of us that hard. You could have said anything. You know what I mean? Yeah,
there's sometimes you get those rooms where you're like, oh man, you can't miss.
Yup, because
that's sometimes not good.
Because I just had a set this, like, a couple nights ago where I did not start strong at all. And one of my things that I know about myself is I'm always trying to start strong and end strong. And I usually do one or the other.
Got it.
So if I start strong, it might be okay at the end, but like for me to be like, yes, I want to like book in this with like a really good start and end. It's normally one or the other, and so I listened back to my set and was like, ugh, this whole front half is just trash. Yeah. But I could tell that I just was being weird and couldn't really find, like, you know how sometimes you know exactly how you want to start?
Sure.
That's a thing that really makes me like, hell yeah. Like, if I know exactly how I want to start, that sets me on such a good tone for the next, like, 10, 15 minutes. But if I'm like, meh, and the first thing happens to go well, I'm like, okay, here we go. Yeah. But it's still kind of a toss-up. And so it was kind of just weird at the front for me. And then, but by the end, I could hear that I got into a decent kind of rhythm with stuff where I was like, okay, I'm okay with how that ended. Yeah. Like, I wanted to do way better on that show. But I didn't bomb.
Sure.
And it ended strong. So,
yeah,
I'll fucking take it.
I'm
not going to be happy with most of them anyway.
Let's talk about that. There is a thing about, like, because you probably know what joke of yours is, like, the joke you should start with, because it's the one that kills every time. But then when it doesn't land as well, it probably has.
Usually I get sick of things anyway.
I hate saying things twice.
I've gotten over twice. Yeah. I used to be that way too, where I would not repeat jokes, and people were like, "You're insane. You have to repeat jokes. You freaking psycho."
The thing I did Saturday, I realized I talked over you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was done.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah.
The thing I did Saturday, the last thing I need is for people to listen to this podcast and in the comments, he's like, another guy talking over a woman.
Here's the thing. You know how hard it is to talk over me? I will talk with someone. Yes, I won't stop. There's not an option. Like, please don't ever pity me.
So I did a show. So I did the Friday night show that went well. It went so well that as soon as I got off stage, this lady came up to me and she's like, I need you to come do my show Saturday. Nice. Which is an amazing feeling, right? Yeah. And off the top, I just said, sure. Like, I'm like, my ego's big. I'm feeling myself at this moment. And I get to it, and it was essentially an open mic. Yeah. For poets. It was like a It was like a bringer show. It was like a variety.
Keep going.
Well, so I won't. I want to say what it is. I won't do that.
No.
It was like a variety, open mic, storytelling, and rap. And it's like some of the rappers were wearing.
Okay, so like a real potpourri.
Yeah, the rappers were wearing Kevlar, but not like real Kevlar. Like, it didn't have it was the vest.
Oh, but with no
protection
in it, just the empty, like if you were wearing an empty fanny pack.
Exactly.
Of hoodness.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So,
like, this is really a uniform.
Pretty much. I was like, what do you know?
Did you just think this was a helpful tank top?
Yeah, I was like, what do you know that I don't know?
Maybe they don't know that. Maybe they think you feel full of money or something.
I don't.
They're like, yeah, I got this really.
When did I guess rappers have always had some sort of uniform. But now it's
Well, I know that even when we were younger, rappers would wear them with, like, no shirt underneath.
Yeah, with the 50 Cent.
Real ones,
the 50 Cent look.
Yeah. So that's, like, I get where they got that.
But, yeah, it is pretty much a fanny pack of hoodness. I love that. I'm going to ask you if I can borrow that from you.
I'm not going to tell this story, so go for it.
I'm gonna cut this out of the podcast, okay. So people when they see me live. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, oh man, why am I telling the story? We were talking about redoing jokes twice, because the lady who booked me and the guy, one of the guys who was like the video guy from the night before, were both there, and I was like,
they've heard these.
They've heard this. 2
Oh
minutes
my god,
already.
shut up. And also, I understand even if you feel like your entire 10 minutes is exactly the same, but you can do a joke again.
Yeah.
And have a different set. I repeat jokes, and most of my sets are not the same. I don't know if any of my sets have been the same. I never do things in the normal order. I'm just getting to the point where I have chunks of things that, like, I need to do in a certain order because they go together the best, like, a certain way. But before that, it was like, I can do whatever set of jokes I want. And also, I feel like it would potentially be different based on... Because I always... Unless I can't see, I'm going to look at who's there. Mm-hmm. So unless your audience is exactly the same as it was the night before, I'm probably not going to do the exact same set.
Yeah. Well, so you also said you're working towards your half hour, though.
Yeah.
So how's that going? Like, and how do you work through that when you're like, I probably don't do things in order, or it's not a natural.
Well, and that's what I'm kind of getting into right now is the certain things that I do that I know do connect. So even if I know, not necessarily I have to do them in a certain order, but I need to do this one before I do this one. I can do whatever I want in between, but this needs to come before this. I have things like that I kind of arrange now, and stuff like that. And besides that, it's just figuring out how much, just finding 30 minutes that I like that much.
Yeah.
Because I have maybe 15 to 20 at any given time that I like that much. Yeah, so that's my real challenge, is just like writing more to get to that point.
I feel like, and whatever, this isn't a comedy podcast per se, but I feel like what I like talking about has changed, because I'm doing a half hour. By the time this is out, I would have recorded a half hour. Okay. And I'm struggling between, like, do I just dump the stuff that I loved when I first started and kind of get it out there, so give myself permission to move forward.
This similar discussion.
Or do I do the things that I'm excited about talking about right now, which is Beyonce and guys in Kevlar vest?
I feel like you can do both. Why would you not do the things that you're excited about? Because it's only a half
hour.
So?
Well, and not to say that I have like an hour's worth of great material, but I have an hour. Like I probably have.
But just because you don't put it on this doesn't mean it's dead forever anyway. So that's what I'm saying. I
don't see
why you can't do some of what you're talking about, but also know you're gonna do stuff that you want. And even if that's where you start, where you're like, okay, this stuff needs to be in here now because it may not be what I want it to be.
There's no reason for me. Like I have
because
jokes.
Also you want to think about if something is that time sensitive. Do you want it on a recording?
It's a good, oh man. Why are you're just saying things that are good points. I mean, I have some jokes that are like, okay, I've been doing this joke for 6 years. Or I've been doing this joke about a breakup that happened 3 years ago that I don't even really feel that strongly about.
And it's like, don't do it. It's like, do the things that are going to come off, because you can hear and see when you are excited to tell a joke and give a shit about it at all. Or if you were literally reciting something so you can never say it out loud again.
Man, it's a great joke, though.
So that's what I mean. Yeah. So you'll feel good when you say it if you like it that much.
No, I think I feel great when I say it.
Yeah.
I just wonder, man, you just like screwed my half hour up for me.
Why?
You realize that?
No. How?
Do you realize? No, you haven't. No, I mean, I think that's it though, right? So like trying to build towards this thing, and then the struggle, the question to try to figure out is, what is it that I want to say in this moment? Mm-hmm. Also, what is it that I need to get rid of?
Yeah.
To give myself permission to move forward. And I think that's in life, right? Mm-hmm. I think like those things happen in life. Like sometimes you have to put certain things aside. You got to give yourself permission to put certain things aside. I don't know why I'm trying to go all philosophical here. to give yourself permission to move forward in life. Mm-hmm. So like comedy is like...
I see what you're saying. Like you want to lay something to rest so that you can kind of give it a proper burial and move on to things that are more you now or stronger or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I totally get. But if you still love them that much, and you also have to think about, because have you ever recorded a half hour before or anything before? Because I feel like there's certain jokes like that we all have, that we've done forever, that we love, but they still give people who have never, because I think you can even kind of get lost in that doing shows around LA where you recognize, not audience members or by any means, but like comics and stuff, where you get used to people laughing because they already know who you are as a person enough that they are already laughing because, not even because they know you're funny, but because they know you. Yeah. And so they're imagining you doing the things that you're talking about. So I feel like there's certain jokes that you may be good to have in there because they give an idea of who you are as a person, because they're those jokes that you've been, or that telling or whatever. Yeah. And then those kind of jokes even lay the foundation for people to laugh so hard at you also being obsessed with Beyonce or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
I am obsessed with Beyonce right now.
See?
She is so...
But I feel like you would tell a couple jokes about who you are as a person and set the stage for even you just being this like kind, lovable people pleaser. Mm-hmm. And then talk about something like that, and it will be resonate that much more than you saying like, I love Beyonce, and then being like, okay, you love Beyonce, but trying to figure out what kind of person you are also. Yeah. Like, what, you want to fuck her just like everybody else does, or what? And you're like,
you can't lead with Beyonce.
It's deeper than that.
Yeah. No, it is deeper
than that.
I want to... I would
That's
not...
what I'm saying, even about you saying a joke and me hearing it and being like, I freaking can't with Jonathan because I know. And someone next to you being like, oh, that's sweet, he likes Beyonce, but not being like, no, you don't get it.
No, you don't understand. He's kind of weird. Yes. He's got a shrine of her.
It's a thing.
And I was in Florida... working when I worked. And I remember one time, going back to what you're saying, like forgetting how much Beyonce has like impacted our lives. Mm-hmm. I remember I was like filling out invoices for my job, and I was singing in my office, "Can you pay my bills?" Like to myself, like not even being aware of what I was doing. I was just like, "Can you pay my bills?" And but we shared like an office assistant, and she came in. She's like, "Are you singing Beyonce?" And I was like, "Am I?"
First of all, Bills is Destiny's Child.
It is Destiny's
Child. The rest
Child.
of them their credit, but she is absolutely right.
Which rest of them though are we talking about?
Bills was that all 4?
I think there was 4.
Yes, because that's on the Writings on the Wall.
Yeah, I don't know the albums.
Yeah. Oh, I love Destiny's Child. Okay. Like, because I loved the original Destiny's Child with Latoya and Latavia. No, there was always 4. Oh, okay. They just tagged 2 out.
Got it.
So it was Beyonce, Kelly. Oh, there might have been... I don't know if there was 5 way early.
Way back
but
when.
Writings on the Wall is Beyonce, Kelly, Latavia, and Latoya.
Got it.
That was Destiny's Child. Then Latoya and Latavia left, and they got Michelle.
Yeah.
And then there was Michelle.
And then Beyonce was like,
I love her so much.
Well, I don't need you guys anymore. Kelly, you're my best friend. Michelle, good luck.
I love it. It is so unfair that Michelle and her dance moves. Michelle is like the Mary J. Blige of Destiny's Child.
Well,
where people it's like, y'all leave her alone.
Yeah. Mary J. Blige dancing is a different thing also.
And that's okay. I always feel very weird about this. I feel like that's not
fair to Michelle.
And that's the thing is, I feel like that's unfair to Mary. Because Mary is just all...
Mary's doing Mary.
Mary is doing Mary, and she is everybody's aunt at a family reunion, and I don't understand why everybody comes for her so hard. Because yes, it's hilarious, but it's like, it's not bad. Like,
no, yeah.
I don't know.
It's not. It's
hilarious, but it's not bad.
Ellen from Seinfeld level, but on purpose.
But she's still
with
on
style,
beat, so I don't know why people. Like she's clearly doing something that's like she likes. It's like, I love that so much. And it's like, if y'all don't stop making fun of Mary.
Have you seen Umbrella Academy yet on Netflix?
No.
Mary J. Blige in that. She's not bad.
Oh, okay.
She's really good.
What is she like? What kind of person is she?
She's like a villain.
Ooh, I can see her being a villain.
Yeah, she's good in it.
Nice.
Like
is one of her eyes covered like it was in the mid-90s? No. I feel like that's good.
No, she's got the bangs thing. She got a bangs thing going on. Yeah. The show itself is, we're not going to get into it. It depends.
Yeah. But
do you like comic book stuff, superhero stuff ish?
Kind of, yeah. Sometimes I'll get into action, anything.
Okay.
Like
It's more drama though.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't get a lot of superhero activity. It's more like a drama about superheroes.
Is it like Smallville?
I didn't really watch Smallville.
I watched Smallville in the beginning.
Okay.
I kind of stopped. I fell off.
I wish that there was a show for. This is just damn it. I want to see Superman now, like adult Superman, have to go back to Smallville because they found out he didn't really ever graduate high school, so he has to go back and get his GED.
I do kind of like Smallville : GED edition.
GED edition. Why he has to go back to Smallville to get his GED, I don't know why.
Yes, because his credits wouldn't transfer or some
exactly.
weird petty writing.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Got it.
And he's Superman now. He's not Clark.
Right.
He's just sitting in a room with like a bunch of other people who are trying to get their GED.
Like he just crushes the desk.
For sure.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm into it.
What were you going to say? You were going to say something. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Are we wrapping up?
I don't know.
I think we could.
So.
We're about a little bit over an hour. We did the thing
we were trying about. Yeah, what was your goal?
My goals?
Time-wise.
Well, I mean, I think...
Are you supposed to talk about what you're trying? What's your wrap-up?
No. My wrap-up is thanks for coming.
Yay!